lovely stink bombs, welcome back to my channel, or if it is your first time here, hi, my name is Melissa, or Melissa, welcome. I'm a 32-year-old beauty from Scotland, which is in the UK. Today we're sponsored by Monster. We're not, but we are. As you can see with the title, we have a new palette to play with. This is the Melt Dark Matter palette. Isn't that pretty? I really like the packaging. I think it's nice. It fits my aesthetic. However, internally not as much, because I feel like there's a lot of wasted space. Like where all the shadows are. They could fit 2 more shadows in there, couldn't they? But anyway, that's what the palette looks like. It's a neutral palette. This is like, you know, they got rid of all their stacks and they kind of made new palettes to replace their stacks. This is, I think, the Dark Matter stack. I don't know, I wasn't actually a Melt fan when they had the stacks. Like, I was using Poundland makeup at that point, but now I am a Melt fan and I've got this. They sent this to me very kindly in PR. Don't know how it happened, I'll be honest, but we will not kick the gift horse in the mouth and we'll do a video on it. So what we're gonna do, as always, is swatch the entire palette. Then I'm going to use it on my eyes, classic Melissa look, a black smoky eye, and then we're going to talk about whether or not I think it's good and whether or not I think it's worth the money, and I'll give it my usual rating out of 10. So yeah, let's jump into swatches, because that is by far the most fun part of any new palette video, let's be honest. Get my wipes ready. Move you slightly over here, zoom you in a bit. And we're just going to go on my beef arm. There's no primer on it. It's Scottish beef. And I'm just going to go along the top and then along the bottom. And I don't really care what the shade names are, to be honest. They're on a sheet, but I don't think it really matters. So let's jump in with the first one. So all of these top ones are like shimmers, and I build up my swatches. If that annoys you, then you can write a letter of complaint to someone and I will get back to it. Pale shimmer, a more bronzed shimmer. I don't know why it annoys people that I build up swatches, because when you put them on your eye, you're not putting on one swipe and then going, oh well, that's all I'm gonna get from that shadow. You build it up. So honestly, shh. Okay, then we've got an even, oh, that colour is actually very pretty. That's like a proper bronzy bronze. But my favourite one is this next one, because I've been searching for the perfect dark shimmery brown for doing like a black smoky eye, but just in brown. So brown smoky eye, some would say. And that is it. That is the depth I want from a nice brown shimmer. These aren't like glittery shimmers. They're not even, I would say, as like beautiful as Beauty Bay shimmers, but I mean, they're pretty. They're just kind of not, holy crap, call the police. You know what I mean? That is actually a stunning colour. It's just not really a me colour, but I do feel like I should try and use that at some point. And then the last one in this row is called a cream shadow. It's black. There's 2 blacks in this palette. I mean, that swatch is quite spectacular, doesn't it? They say it's for like blending out eyeliner or like using it as eyeliner. I'm not quite sure why it's there, because I'm gonna actually go backwards and swatch the black next, like the matte black, so you can just see it side by side and tell me if you agree that you don't think both are necessary in this palette. Like I said, that's a cream formula, so it's swatched like straight off the bat. I do think this black is maybe one of the best blacks I've ever used. Do you see what I mean? Do we need both of them? Do we need both of them? You tell me. I do like that each shimmer has like a perfectly corresponding matte. So like this one would go, I've got black on my finger. That one would go stunning with that like cranberry shimmer here. I'm getting so filthy in these swatches. Then we have like a dark chocolate brown, just like that. I use pretty much all of them except the cranberry shades, and also I only use a couple of shimmers and only on the inner corner, so actually just completely disregard that statement. I don't use pretty much all of them. That is stunning. That colour has my heart and soul. I actually used this palette today for my faux freckles, and I used it today for my eyebrows. So having a neutral palette is that it can be very multi-functional, can't it? That brown there is definitely my favourite brown in the palette. And last up, just a nice pale biscuity kind of colour. A really nice blending shade, just like that. Okay, what do you think of that? I think the cranberry shimmer and then this like bronzy one are the most impressive. The other ones are kind of matte, like flat shimmers, like they're not gonna blow your socks off, but they just give a little satin more than a matte does. There's the matte swatches, and I just don't know if you will agree with me that both blacks are necessary. I think personally for me, they should have made this top row black very, very glittery and sparkly and stunning. Like, let me show you what I mean. I'm just gonna grab this Stone and Rock palette from Odin's Eye and swatch this stunning, I'll just put it down here, sparkly black. Do you know, if it had that in it to go along with the shimmers, I feel like that would have made a lot more sense, because to say, oh, it's a creamy black for kind of doing eyeliner and smoking it out, you can do that with a matte, and also everyone has a black eyeliner realistically, and I think a shimmery black like this would have made a lot more sense. But that's just my personal tuppence worth on the choice of two blacks. Apart from that, stunning neutrals. That cranberry, I really have to like do a look with that, because I never use colours like that, and I think that might look really beautiful on my blue eyes. So we'll see. But anyway, that's the swatches. So let's now jump into me actually applying it and seeing how it applies on the eye. I am primed, of course, with my Revlon Candid. What else would I use? Can you tell I've primed? No, because this colour is the tits, and it matches my skin tone perfectly, and apparently it's discontinued and not cool. I'm going to start with this black down here. There is a shade sheet name. I'm not going to look at it because it's a very small palette really in the grand scheme of things, so I can just hold it up and show you. Don't look at my forehead wrinkle. Yuck. Now, I don't want an absolutely massive crazy black smoky eye. I want like a daytime smoky eye, and to me a black smoky eye is totally a daytime look. You know that clip in the Kardashians, like, do you think your eye makeup's too smoky? And she's like, I'm going through a phase. Well, that's me every day, because I think black smoky eyes are perfection. And if it's good enough for Kate Moss in the 90s, it's good enough for me. So I'm using a tiny little pointy Morphe brush just to go around the edges, because I don't want it too big and blown out. I want it nice and tucked in. And this black, sometimes I forget I'm supposed to be reviewing the palette. This black is insanely good. It is a 10 out of 10 black. Like, the second I played with this black, I knew it was in my top 5 of all time. Don't ask me what my other ones are, can't remember off the top of my head. Literally don't know. But this one is in the top 5. And then I'll use a teeny tiny wee Stacey Marie brush. Drag that in the inner corner. There's a lot of fallout with this. There's a lot of kick up. It's a very kind of a dusty palette, but we'll talk about that in a second when it comes to the other black going into my eyeball. Yeah, we will talk about that in a second. Deep investigations on my part. Right, then I'm going to grab this brown here. So I'm skipping this like reddy brown colour. I'm not going to use this one today just because it's not my colour of brown, but I like this one beside it very much. And I'm going to use that to blend out the edges of the black. I honestly think a black smoky eye is perfect for every day. I wear it to work. I wear it to the McDonald's drive-thru. For me, it's not like, I don't like wearing dramatic makeup out in public, like if I'm on my own. If I'm like with all my friends, we're going on a night out, totally fine. See, if I'm on my own, absolutely not. I don't like people looking at me, but I don't feel like people look at me when I wear a black smoky eye. People probably don't look at me anyway, but you know, it's just that voice in the back of your head that's like, everyone's staring at you, you know, and no one is. Because I don't tend to stare at other people. Oh, I do sometimes. You know what I mean. This brown blends out this black perfectly. I'm gonna say really good things about the formula of this palette. Again, I'm forgetting this is a review, not like a tutorial. I'm gonna say very good things. So far, every shade I've used has been great, especially the black. It's phenomenal. This dark matte brown is blending it out stunningly. It's blending it out so well I can't even really see the black, which is a good thing. It's like, it's just perfect. There's something about the top row like shimmer formula in here that is just not doing it for me, and I don't know if it's like a melt formula thing. I'm just going to take this down below as well, or if it's a this palette thing. I don't have enough experience with melt eyeshadows, quite honestly. I've got the Amore Mariposa palette, which I really like, and I've got like a blue one and a radioactive one, and I do like them, but I feel like the shimmers in those palettes far more sparkly than this palette. Like the ones in here feel very, very flat and not exciting. Then I'm going to go to the brown right beside the one we just used, this one. It's like a lovely kind of Like it's more of like a yellow tone, beigey based brown than like a red brown. You know me, I'm very professional in my reviews. And that is gonna blend out this. So yeah, it all blends to perfection. I would say the colours that they've chosen are great. Do I need the red? No. Like the red brown? Nah. But I know a lot of people like that colour on their eyes. I just don't understand the point of the two different blacks in this palette. That is what I'm trying to moan about. And also I don't like the empty space in the palette. They could have fitted in at least 2 more eyeshadows in the empty space. But I like the front of the palette and the design, and it's like fake leather kind of style. I do like that. I like how it looks aesthetically. And I've seen some honking palettes recently. This is not one of them. Like these 3 colours, they just blend out so lovely. If I was so inclined, I would probably grab a yellow and like blend out with a wee bit of yellow, but I don't think I will today, because I am just trying to test this palette. And I've only got a little date later on. It's just a little dinner date, and not a fancy dinner date. We're gonna go to McDonald's, I think. Make sure that's all the way around. You can hear Sausage, he's licking himself very loudly, but that's good. He's been very, very sick today. So prayers for Sausage. He seems to be holding down his food. I'm keeping an eye on him for 24 hours before I worry. But he seems very good right now, but he's licking himself loudly. And then I'm also going to skip this brown because I don't really need it, and I'm going to move into this one. It kind of looks like I've used that brown, but I haven't, because I played with this palette the other day and tried to do like something big and dramatic. This colour's lovely for blending out that second last matte that we used. It's just very, very light, blends into my skin tone very nicely if I just sit and blend it for a second. But it's also not so light that I don't think it's not going to not show up on like deeper skin tones than mine. It's a really nice one. Again, more like a yellow leaning than a red leaning brown, which I just prefer in my skin tone. I think because I've got kind of olivey skin, I think that's why I always like a bit more of a yellow leaner. So that's my kind of base on. Takes 2 seconds. Great. No problems. I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to take this top black here. Now when I look at this palette, I'm like, okay, top row all shimmers, bottom row all matte. This kind of looks shimmery, doesn't it? This is described, I'll put like the wording up on the screen. It's like in fact I can find it on here just so that I'm absolutely not getting it wrong, because I've been having a deep discussion in the Sausages Telegram chat about this morning. Eclipse oil slick black in a cream texture. The cream finish has no fallout and is perfect for use as a base and as a diffused liner. So that's good, no fallout. And dip my finger in, and it does feel more creamy, but it doesn't feel creamy to the point where you'd be like, oh yeah, I'd use that as an eyeliner. I think they just mean like you put eyeliner on it and then diffuse it with a wee brush. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm gonna whack this on the lid. My huge issue with this palette is that this black is literally the same as the other black, except the other black is better. So yeah, this is saying it's got no fallout, but what? Who cares? Like, I don't see why that is a selling point. No one's doing a black smoky eye before, like after they've got their perfect base on. You know what I mean? Like, no one's doing that. And it's not like a cream texture, you know, like in the Huda Empowered palette that has 2 cream eyeshadows in it. They feel like creams. This just feels like a moist, sorry, I said it again, shadow. Get it all the way on. And I don't feel like it's as black either as the matte black. I don't know if you can tell the difference between my eyes. Like this one I've put the matte black on top, this one I haven't, but I'm gonna put the matte black on top. So my big issue with the palette is basically they don't need both of these. They can have one or the other. I would keep the matte black and I would get rid of this creamy feeling one because it's just pointless to have 2, or I would make this creamy feeling one and fill it full of beautiful black sparkles, so at least you're getting something different from each black. It just feels very redundant that there's 2 in here that makes honestly no difference. I'm going to go in with that powder black, the very first one, and I'm just going to stamp it over the top because I feel like it's darker and packs more of a punch. Does it have fallout? Holy crap, yes, but I don't care. Maybe to some people like fallout is a total deal breaker, but when you're doing like black smoky eyes and stuff, I really feel like the vast majority of people are doing these like before they've done their base. That's just my tuppence worth, but I mean, holy crap, that is black. That's stunning. It is perfect. like zero complaints with the matte black in this palette. So if you're after a neutral palette that has a lovely matte black in it, this could be the one for you, although there probably is cheaper ones out there. I think this is like almost 60 quid. And then I'm just going to go back through with like my browns and stuff and just blend them in. So it's a very obviously fast eye look because I'm literally doing a black smoky eye. It's not that intricate, is it? But I still feel like, you know, I'm showing the palette in use. And it is the kind of look I would do with this palette on the daily. This is going to be what do I want to do today? Black smoky eye. I would pick up this palette for it. Do you know what I mean? So it's absolutely not pointless in my collection, but is it that, what's the word I'm looking for? Versatile? No, absolutely not. Like zero versatility. And I'll probably blow this out a bit more once I put my base on. I think I'll go put my base on in another video and just do like a chatty, like putting my base on, just because I haven't filmed in like a week. I've just obviously been at my new job and a new romance, you know what I mean? So I've taken my eye off the ball a little bit. But that's things happen. I'm wondering if I should put a shimmer on the inner corner. Usually with a black smoky eye, I keep it very matte and also a very black inner corner. But will we put a wee shimmer on the inner corner just to have tried it? I think we should. So I'm going to grab this teeny weeny little brush and let me touch. Oh, that finger is just covered in black. Why am I shocked? I think it would need to be like shimmer 1 or shimmer 2. Shimmer 2's got more bang for the buck. Am I going to like that in my... I'm going to take shimmer number 2, this one here, and try it on my inner corner, and if I hate it I'll just cover it up with black. I think if I keep it nice and tight, then it should be okay. I'm just using this dry. Like the shimmers feel nice, they're just very flat, they're not sparkly, they're not wet feeling, they're not going to blow your socks off, but they're not like horrible, there's nothing terrible about them. And the dark brown shimmer in here is going to be perfect for when I do this exact eye look, but without the black. So I quite often like doing just a brown smoky eye, especially for like work and stuff. And I want to take a bit of that paler one, I didn't even see. And the brown in here is going to be perfect for doing my brown smoky eyes. I don't mind that on the inner corner. Where is it here? Like this. So imagine no black at all on my eyes and I'm just working with browns like that all over the lid. It's just going to be sick. So I'm going to go put my base on in another video and just chit chat through it. And then we'll come back and like put a lash on and look at this and stuff. But like I'm very much enjoying, this is a little NYX black eyeliner. I'm very much enjoying this palette, and again I don't have an issue with the quality of the formula whatsoever, and I don't want it, like I sometimes worry that I sound very ungrateful, especially if something's come in PR, if I'm not gonna, like if I sit and say bad things about it, but at the same time if I get kicked off a PR list for not liking something, that seems a bit petty. Anyway, I do like it, I just find the two blacks very unnecessary. This brown just has my heart. It's going to be so gorgeous as a brown smoky eye. Right, I'll be back and we'll finish off our eyes together. Okay, so my base is on. Now this says fallout free black creamy eyeshadow, so I'm going to take this teeny tiny little brush. This is great. This is a Crown C527, and hopefully I can put this black on my lower lash line and not get any fallout, which I am terrified of because my base is on and I'm now using black eyeshadow. The amount of makeup I get in my eyes, that's why they're always bloodshot, like always. How do you get unbloodshot eyes? Just like eye drop. I don't know if I'd be able to put them in, even though I can touch my eyeball. Like no problem. Hey, that even went on my waterline. Okay, I'd say no fallout from that. I'm just gonna smudge it a wee bit. I actually just did my brows with this palette. Not because I was like trying to use it for every different thing, but just because I had it to hand and I thought, oh, that black and deep brown will mix together really well. So I just like did it on my tiny wee angled Stacey Marie brush and did my brows. I'm trying to let them grow out, by the way, so that's why they're looking a bit free these days. And then I'll just take that like dark brown, just the same shades I used above, just to blend this out. I don't want to take it down too low, but it's all about the blend with a wee black smoky eye. I am glad I started doing brown black smoky eyes. I think when I first started doing smoky eyes, I always thought it kind of had to be black into grey, but brown is very flattering and I think easier to wear than like a grey smoky eye. And I'm just going into the next lighter one, skipping the middle one that I don't think would go with this look. Honestly, I am very much enjoying this palette and I do think it will be very much my go-to for a smoky eye. How many times have I said smoky eye in this video? But I am struggling to reconcile it with the price, but then I am Scottish, therefore by nature very stingy. It is very expensive, and I do have like my Beauty Bay nudes. I've got my other Beauty Bay one that has a lot of natural colours in it, so there's a part of me that's like you could do this absolutely without having this palette in my collection, but I will say if you're on the hunt for a good black eyeshadow, this one is the business. Like, it is phenomenal. And then I'll just go around with a big fat fluffy brush in that very lightest shade and just skiff it around the edges and try and make sure everything blended into my base. Yeah, very much enjoying it. Like, I'm not going to say anything bad about the formula because it is very lovely. Just going to be very much one of those palettes where it's like, is it in your price range and does it tickle your pickle? If it's not in your price range, there's definitely other neutral palettes out there, and if it is, then you should get it because it's certainly performing beautifully. But a wee bit more of that shine on the inner corner, a little bit above and below. Maybe I'll take a wee bit of that dark brown, like the dark brown shimmer, and just blend that into very front. I just get carried away when I'm playing. That dark brown shimmer. I don't know if you can even see that. I don't think you can, but it's tickling my pickle quite a lot. I'm just trying to fade it into the black. That is the eyes. I like it. I do like, I just put my dirty brushes in my clean brushes. I very much like this palette. I do. There really is nothing wrong with it apart from the fact that there's two blacks that don't need to be there. And it's expensive, but it's melt. So, right, I'm gonna go throw a lash on and then that'll be us. Probably nothing left to say about it. I am wrapping this up at the best time. The boys have decided to wake up. They're having a wee fight on their cat tree. So we are gonna talk very briefly. What do we think about this? In terms of my rating scale, I'm going to give it 8.5 out of 10. 9 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10 because the black is phenomenal. Like, both of the blacks in here are phenomenal black eyeshadows. They both work really well. Do I think it needs both? No, hence having to remove a mark. I love the packaging. I think it's very luxe. It's like expensive looking. It's nice and weighty, like it would, you know, look nice in someone's backdrop. I do think there is wasted space, and I never like a name sheet. I'm gonna throw it away because when you try and shut the palette you can't sometimes because it's in the way and it just annoys me. But yeah, I'd say 9 out of 10. I think, again, if this is in your budget, the colours really speak to you. If you were an absolute melt stan, I think definitely get it. It's a very good palette. I wanted to show a couple of alternatives because I've been talking about how there are cheaper ones out there to get. My first one is one of my very favourite palettes of my life, but also this year. The 18CT Matte Essentials from Morphe. This is more grey toned, but it does have some of these lovely dark browns in it. It's got black. This palette is phenomenal. I rate this 10 out of 10 for the price, for the quality, for the looks I do with it. I adore this palette and I use it every single day pretty much for work. That is phenomenal. So that's a good alternative. And again, £20, that's what, $56 or $58? And then another one would be Beauty Bay Nudes, because it has all of your browns, it has a black, it's got shimmers, it's got mattes. This is, I think, about £20 or so. I don't know, the prices have kind of gone up a bit on Beauty Bay recently, maybe £22 now or £25. I don't know, whatever it is, it's a lot cheaper than the Melt, and it is, again, a fantastic palette. So if you're looking for something like this but it's not in your budget, these are two much more drugstore-y palettes that I think are very similar, or will give you a similar look but on a much cheaper budget. So yeah, I think it's fantastic. Again, get it if you really want it. If you don't, get an alternative. Very happy with my makeup. Like I said, I've got a wee date, and considering the last time he saw me I was in my pyjamas with greasy hair, no makeup on, sleeping on the couch with pizza stains on me. I think I look good. Are you okay? But yeah, that's gonna be all for me today. A massive thank you to Melt for sending me this. Would never have been able to afford it to buy it for a review, so it's always such a treat. But yeah, thank you to you guys for watching my videos and subscribing. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. It really helps me out, and I really want to get to 100k. Don't know if it's gonna happen, but I want to. Leave me a comment down below. Are you tempted to get it? Or you know, what are your thoughts? And give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. What? I don't know why Potato's yelling at me. Probably want. What's wrong? Everybody would like to see Potato. Maneuver him around the wires and give the video a thumbs up for Potato, because the more thumbs up we get, the more tweeties we can buy. Yes, emotional manipulation. Let's use it. Okay, I'm gonna piss off and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye!